Alright people, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification. That way you'll know when I upload the next video and you'll be supporting my channel. Follow me on Twitter. Every time I upload a new video, I'll be tweeting. Ladies and gents, welcome to GDX and this is Deus Ex Review. Stop Globalist trademark by the channel ssethtzeentach. Sometimes you got to make a silent takedown. Give me the GEP gun. 2000? Deus Ex 1. Alright. I played Deus Ex Human Revolution, I guess was the name of the game when it came out. Holy shit, was that game good. That game was incredible, everything, even the graphics, right? It wasn't the cutting edge graphics of the time, but it was good enough. And game overall, playing it every single level, every single map, every single stages, right? The game was incredible, all the things you could do. I remember a Human Revolution, so that made me basically, got addicted to Deus Ex. But then the latest one, I think, came out. I don't know what the name was, but I don't know, the graphics, the mechanics didn't feel right. Right? It felt like maybe they didn't have as good as budget as they had with the Human Revolution one. But I don't know. I don't know what the original Deus Ex was like, because I never played it, but clearly Seth is reviewing it, so there has to be something right about it. So let's watch this one. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe so I know which type of videos to react to more. Check out the other reaction I did, there's a link in the description. Check out the cards, yeah, let's watch it.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I will be covering an older game that, at the time, was considered the best conspiracy simulator on the market, Deus Ex. Looking back now, it was a scarily accurate prediction of a future. Despite being made a full year before the 9/11 attacks, Deus Ex depicted our world in 30 years as an authoritarian dystopia. In other words, they were 30 years off. In this bleak future, there's only the super wealthy and the super fucking poor. The only food available is candy bars and soybeans. The only safe drinking water is orange soda, and 10 packs of cigarettes are now strong enough to kill you instantly. For this reason, secondhand smoking is now the preferred method of postnatal abortion. Or, if you care about the environment and want a more eco-friendly solution, you could also try jabbing your ungrateful spawn with a cattle prod, then put them up for adoption in the ocean. Deus Ex is an amazing game, and I'm glad people pushed me to replay it. You appreciate it more in your man-child years. Anyway, plot. You play as JC Denton. The JC stands for
Jesus Christ, Denton.
You're one of two nano-augmented brothers trained from a young age to be elite agents of UNATCO, the United Nations Anti-Terror Coalition, which was founded after terrorists bombed the Statue of Liberty. And as expected, everybody thinks it was an inside job to justify increased surveillance.
Oh my god. This is before 9/11. And in this game, obviously there were way too many movies, but 2 decades before 9/11, like in 80s and 90s, that talks about global attack, global scale attacks, some terror attacks on some United States place. So, bombing the Statue of Liberty, that's not far-fetched concept, but still a year ago, they made this game where they bombed Statue of Liberty. But in reality, just not far from there, for Statue of Liberty, is World Trade Center. That shit happened. And just like in the game, like he said, everybody thinks it's an inside job. There are lots of people that obviously thinks about 9/11 as an inside job and blaming Bush or something at the time. So, but then again, that's not really a prediction, right? That's just, I guess, knowledge of how people are. But that is still fucked up just a year after that.
And create a supranational entity that could operate outside and above the jurisdiction of individual countries. This is nonsense. The true purpose of UNATCO is to protect you and all free citizens of the world from terror, a war on terror, if you will. Your job is to investigate, arrest, and kill terrorists across the world, but not talk to them, because that's how they get you. They get in your head. They start making you ask funny questions, and before you know it, bang! You're a liberal. If you shoot on sight and follow orders without question, you'll go far in UNATCO. Also, the world is suffering an outbreak of infectious disease called the Grey Death, and the only cure for it is a vaccine called ambrosia. Well, it's not really a vaccine. A vaccine would treat you, not temporarily halt progression for 48 hours. Did I mention there's not enough vaccine to go around? But just enough to make sure the most important members of our society get it, namely bureaucrats, politicians, and any person with wealth and influence. That's quite a coincidence. isn't it? But don't think on it too much. That's for philosophers. Don't be one of those Greek homos. Problem is, these terrorist groups keep stealing shipments of ambrosia, and Lord forbid, if ambrosia gets into the hands of a poor, I'm gonna have a stroke. It's not a pretty world, JC, but we all gotta make sacrifices. Some more than others. A lot more than others. Anyway, I won't spoil too much of a story for you, but let's just say that in Deus Ex, the ruling elite control all of the banking, communications, and biotech industries. They were all in a happy agreement. Exploit and steal.
Oh my god, is that what the story of Deus Ex is? That we work for some global coalition and we stop terrorists, but terrorists are not really terrorists. I mean, they are terrorists because they are spreading terror, but they are doing it out of necessity because rich people are controlling everything and poor people are dying. They don't have vaccines there to, I guess, you know, do this kind of acts to steal the vaccines, and we are the one who stops them. I hope that's not the plot. Oh my god, that is such a realistic, I mean, possibility of realism in that whole plot, right? Because some shit like this can happen. I mean, knowing how the mergers work in just past 10 years in all the different companies, how mergers are happening. Massive companies are consuming less massive companies and becoming one. That has gone out of hand in past decade. So just few companies left which are way too big, controlling most of the things. And obviously, if you control the GDP, you control literally everything. So a plot that corporation basically, if not, just in public, in secret, controlling the world is not that far-fetched in future, I guess.
From everybody else. It was harmony. It was peace. Then, one of them said, we have an incurable virus. Why the fuck do we need the rest of you? And now, they are no longer in a happy agreement. Every secret society, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the Bogdanovs, Wu-Tang Clan, they're all in complete turmoil. And it's all a grand conspiracy for control of the modern world, for enacting a new world order. Unfortunately, you're caught up in the middle of all this, and like it or not, your choices and actions will shape the world.
Don't think I won't report this.
For better or worse.
By the way, Denton, stay out of the ladies' restroom. That kind of activity embarrasses the agency more than it does you.
Gameplay. It's a...
The developers added that bit. That is incredible. I love how he just listed all the secret society and he listed Wu-Tang. What is a secret code to get in? Screaming Wu-Tang, is that it?
Very good. There's a fuck ton of controls, but they're very good controls. In case you have lost your keyboard since the last video, I recommend getting a new one. The UI records absolutely everything. It's fantastic. You can even add your own notes. Skills are self-explanatory, and as intelligent gamers, you will receive no explanation. Throughout the game, you get assigned to missions from UNATCO, but each location is pretty open, forcing you to investigate and fulfill side objectives in order to progress the main story. You get rewarded for exploration constantly, so there's no reason not to do it. Strangely, the NPCs of Deus Ex have a habit of dropping iPads everywhere containing their banking details and not changing their recovery passwords. Throughout my playthrough, I have encountered not a single person who gives a shit about their financial well-being, leading me to believe that NPCs in this game are actually quite realistic depictions of people living in the first world. Let's talk about setting. Most of your missions send you out.
Oh my god, that is so true. There was a study that happened in at least in the first world countries like USA and things, that people who buy, let's just say 4 bags of grocery, they usually drop off 1 bag of grocery and don't even pick up. I mean, that's not really true, but the point is they waste 25% of the goods and don't even care about it, right? So they buy all this grocery, 25% of them got wasted for whatever reason, right? And they just throw it away.
The cities. Then, you head back to the UNATCO base on Liberty Island. It's actually really nice to visit UNATCO headquarters in between missions. This is pretty much your home. You can talk with your boys, break into closets, hack everyone's computer, and get sexual harassment charges from HR.
I've already reported you once.
UNATCO. We only recruit the best of the best to keep you safe. As Denton, you can use different tools to meet your objectives, depending on whether you want a loud or stealthy entrance, a trigger-happy or non-lethal solution. At the start of the game, you can even choose a starting weapon. Of course, the only correct option is the GEP gun for silent takedowns. You can equip yourself with whatever you can get your hands on. Some examples are cattle prods, pepper sprays, and Chinese nanoblades that refold themselves 1,000 times each second just to flex on the Japanese. You get most of your weaponry story by stealing shit from other people. You are a bionic superhuman. They can't stop you. Sometimes you'll be forced to pay for certain items or services. This is rarely a problem, since you can get most of your credits by hacking ATM machines. Shooting in Deus Ex isn't so much about speed. It's about waiting in a corner for your aiming reticle to shrink small enough to actually hit your targets without training.
I was thinking, like, what's with the clothing, with the black jacket, black rims and everything, but then I realized, wait a minute, the game is from 2000. This is the time where Matrix was really high, right? This is really Matrix-esque type of thing. Neo and everybody just wearing leather black type of thing and glasses.
This takes about a year. With training, this still takes about a year. For this reason, the stealthy approach is much more satisfying. You peek out behind corners, and then you shoot people with tranquilizer darts, and then you run away as they scream and pass out.
By the way,
Tranquilizer to the face?
did you see what happened to the soldier we sent into the statue? He turned up unconscious.
No, sir. Friendly fire?
Not so friendly, I'm afraid. I have opened an investigation. Dismissed.
Just be careful, because sound travels in this game, and if you accidentally drop a soy packet on the ground, the seismic tremors it creates will set off every alarm on the level. For more lethal solutions, you could just use a gun, but what's the fun in that? As a nano-augmented god, you can crush people by the sheer weight of your thighs. JC Thick Denton fills his victims with terror in their last breathing moments. There's plenty of other augmentations you can install, which take up mutually exclusive slots on the body. No matter what you pick, they're all pretty useful, and upgrading them only makes their powers more ridiculous. Throughout the story, you go to a variety of locations and speak to a huge number of people. Even unimportant side characters usually have several lines each, and the dialogue itself is fantastic.
I heard that he was a frequent visitor to this compound. Do you know him?
The Romulus path is closed to Guilos.
JC's perpetual autism also adds to the mood of the game. He's so deadpan and emotional.
I don't know, my flag is just too much. I don't know why. But how does Seth know how to, I guess, just to what kind of a visual to give, what kind of joke to do? This is just perfection.
But he turns serious conversation into unintentional black comedy.
Oh my God, Daddy.
What a shame.
He can't really be. There must be something we can do.
He was a good man. What a rotten way to die.
As the story develops and UNATCO gradually gets infiltrated by clandestine organizations, you can uncover a lot more about the plot by being inquisitive. There's a huge fuckton of lore spread throughout minor characters, computer terminals, newspapers, and books. As you learn more, you can start putting the pieces together, find out who's pulling the strings, and practice your Latin. Also, this game predicted nuclear war between India and Pakistan. They're only 1 year away from becoming a superpower. Lord help us all. Real talk, searching carefully and reading everything big. It can even let you completely bypass some of the hardest fights in the game. By modern standards, Deus Ex has the graphical fidelity of blurry vintage pornography, but it is completely functional. However, if it's still an eyesore for you, you can try GMDX or the Deus Ex Revision mod. They both make it very pretty. The sound design is great. Everything sounds clear and crisp, which makes the world feel genuine and authentic.
Are you sure you pressed the right button?
I do not make mistakes of that kind.
Your hand might have slipped.
No, I wanted orange. It gave me lemon lime.
The machine would not make a mistake.
It's the maintenance man. He knows I like orange.
So you think the staff has some kind of plot?
Yes, they do that on purpose.
The music tracks are nice too. I sometimes keep the UNATCO conversation theme playing when I'm calling with the shareholders.
I want big giant cocks.
Deus Ex is wonderful, and it doesn't take too long to finish. It may very well be the definition of a perfect game. I give it an excellent out of however many children I tased during my playthrough.
My dad says you can't get anywhere if you can't keep a secret.
So please, give it a shot. It's very cheap, and it still goes on sale from time to time. It's not for everyone, and by that I mean, if you are an illiterate, subhuman troglodyte, and you've somehow managed to evade the special needs wrangler long enough to watch this video, well, firstly, that's actually very impressive, good job, but you might not enjoy this game as much. But if you are capable of having an attention span, you'll find a plot that captivates you from start to finish, with moral and ethical questions raised that leave you living in a slightly higher state of being. Of course, Deus Ex takes a very extreme view of a future, but you must remember that with each day we do not question or challenge our leaders, extreme becomes absurd, absurd becomes implausible, and implausible becomes a reality.
What is it, mister? I'm really hungry.
You don't look that bad. Tell me what you know about the NSF.
I knew it. Someday the NSF is going to win, and I'm gonna give them your description with your stupid shades, and they're gonna kick your ass.
As always, more videos to come, so stay tuned. It will also be much more upbeat. Don't worry. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and
our character's like, come here, little punk. I have a taser. Holy shit. Alright. Yeah, Deus Ex. I mean, Bethesda, gets scared every time you show anything happening to, I guess, kids in the game, right? Deus Ex don't even give a fuck. They just added all the elements in. What, they didn't get any backlash from it? But I guess Deus Ex wasn't that big of a game when it came out in 2000. I don't know. But yeah. Right, people, that was Deus Ex review. Stop globalist trademark by the channel ssethtzeentach. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the Brick There's a link in the description. Check out the cast of the cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.